Hello everyone, I hope you're well. Today's video I'm going to be reviewing Peter Pan, which I chose for my May Tay's book club that I run on this channel. So I'm going to give you the plot summary, my opinions, and then I'm going to read out your reviews that you sent to me. So first up, this was published in 1911. It is classic adventure children's literature. And I'm sure everyone knows the story of Peter Pan. You got Peter Pan, this boy who lives in children's imaginations. He then flies into this house and picks up Wendy and her siblings and takes them back to Neverland, which Neverland is this place where he has other children that he's kidnapped, all living there, that are called the Lost Boys. There's pirates trying to come after them. There's a tribe called the Redskins that are kind of involved. You don't find out a lot about them. Or trying to keep my opinions down a little bit. That's the basic plot. You have Tinkerbell, that's a little fairy as well. Wendy is the only girl in Neverland, so everyone wants her to become their mother. And there's this real obsession that they've all forgot who their parents are and they want Wendy to stay with them forever and mother them. Now let's get into my opinions. Nothing happened. Like, it sounds like an interesting plot, but to me it was the Lost Boys are fighting the pirates, the Redskins are coming in, they're all fighting, oh, they've got away, oh, let's do that again. I didn't feel like we knew any of the characters. I thought it was very odd. Also, the name of the tribe, the Redskins, do remember this did come out in 1911. It's obviously not right that he used that for the name of the tribe, but it's the time at which it was published, people would have seen that as okay. One thing I will say about that is there's a tribe called the Redskins and the chief's daughter is called Tiger Lily. We found out nothing about Tiger Lily. There's a whole scene where she's captured by the pirates and Peter saves her, and I wanted more about Tiger Lily, this chief's daughter, and the tribe, and she like helps out the tribe and she's gonna die for the tribe. And then nothing into her character. She didn't get many lines. I wanted more Tiger Lily. I wanted more Tinkerbell. Tinkerbell was barely in it. I wanted less Peter Pan because he's hateful. So Peter, the narrator, talks to you throughout the whole entire book, which I found a bit tiresome. Sometimes I like it in children's literature, like Frances Hodgson Burnett will often address the audience, the reader. But in this, I just found it a little bit, it was just spoiling you for the whole plot. So something bad would happen and then the narrator would say to you, but don't worry kids, everything will work out all right in the end, don't worry. I just felt like it was spoiling and it was a bit patronising. So Peter Pan is hateful and the narrator says to you, Peter Pan can be a selfish boy. Peter Pan can be this and that. He was a facetious, emotionally manipulative brat. He would cry if the children wouldn't do what he wanted to do. He would manipulate them and he would also be violent. So if the Lost Boys didn't want to play an imaginary game that he wanted to play, he would hit them. He's a violent, horrible, arrogant little brat. Hated him, and there was so much about him and he was so unlikable and he was just so mean to them all the time. I tabbed three moments, 3 passages that I thought were really beautifully written. And I'll reread those bits over the years and I'll think they were really lovely the way they were done. But a lot of the language was very simplistic. It was just this fighting and oh my god, I'm gonna have to stop talking about it. I didn't really enjoy it. I felt some of it were good, the passages that I marked, but overall you didn't get to see the characters. The characters were all introduced to you in chapter 5. They were introduced by name. So all the pirates' name, all the Lost Boys' name, that's it. You didn't get anything into any of the Lost Boys' backstories, nothing into the pirates' backstories, and obviously there's Captain Hook, or Jazz Hook, I liked that, he's called Jazz Hook in the book, but you got nothing really into him. And the whole thing with the crocodile I thought was good. So Jazz Hook is followed by a crocodile who wants to kill him, but a crocodile once swallowed a clock. So when he hears tick, 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 he knows the crocodile's nearby and he gets to hide away from the crocodile. And I thought that was like an interesting, nice little bit, but then it was just so simplistic in other times. There were mermaids in this that got like a second's glance. I was like, ooh, mermaids, this is good. Oh, okay, the pirates, so they're fighting the Lost Boys, oh. Like, there were so many good bits introduced that just nothing happened to them. And I think that's why this has been turned into so many great films, is because they've taken small moments from the book. So the thing like, I believe in fairies to save Tinkerbell's life, that's not a big thing within this book. But in films, it's a huge moment. So they've taken moments from the book that are good and they've just amplified them. You can see that in the Disney film. You can see that in other films, that they've taken essences that were good within the book. But overall, I found it really difficult to read. I find it much like a big slog. First up I'm going to say is that a lot of people said they weren't going to get involved with this book club. So if you've watched my book club review things before, you'll see that I normally have a montage of pictures and then I read out loads of reviews, and it's your reviews that you've sent me of the book that we've read together. And loads of people just commented and told me, I tried to read this a few years ago, I couldn't get through it, I hate it. And I was thinking, oh my god, I chose the worst book, it's going to be awful. So a lot of people didn't get involved with the book club, and I know a lot of you, I just want to reference it, did try to get involved with the book club, but then you DNF'd the book. You just couldn't get through it, and I 100% understand why. I think some books you can hit like a bad bit, but you can get over it and it's worth it in the end. I personally think that about The Hunchback of Notre Dame. It's a slow book, but in the end you'll be glad that you read it. But with Peter Pan, you're smarter than me. The people that put it down, you're smarter than me. One more point is that when I read my books for the book club, I write pages upon pages of notes. And when I read The Testament of Mary, which was a 100-page book, I was pages and pages of, I do chapter breakdowns, I do quotes that I think are good from it, emotions they bring out on me, like a whole analysis so that I can put it in my review video. For Peter Pan, it was only 2 pages. This is it. This is the plot, any emotions I felt about it, everything. And this is a small notebook. There just wasn't much in it, really, for me at all. So, yeah. Now I'm going to put up the pictures of the people who read the book. 3 of you managed to read it with me, and I've got 3 reviews. 3 also beautiful copies. And now I'm going to read out your 3 reviews. I haven't looked at any of them. I print screen them, but I don't read your comments in full because I like to have a very natural turn on the camera, and this is my actual reaction to the comments. So I am very excited to see what you think of it. I have my laptop here, so I'm just going to get straight into it. First up, I got a comment from Kate L. Rimmer. This book, full stop. I really didn't like it. Yes! I'm not the only one that read it and hated it. There seems to be like a whole sea of people that have commented and said, oh, I tried to read this, I hated it, I didn't like it, oh god. The writing was not for me, and the characters, she's then put a dash, a sassy dash. There wasn't one that I liked. 100%. I don't feel like we got to know any of the characters' backstory, so we couldn't connect to any of them. I feel like I'm just ranting about this whole review. I found it dull and boring and was thankful it was a quick read. I can't DNF. Here's to June's book being more enjoyable. Yes, I have already announced, but I'll say it here again. June's book is Jane Eyre. I hope everyone's going to join in with Jane Eyre, and I hope we're going to like it a lot more than we liked Peter Pan. Next up, I got a comment from Saucers and Sorcery. I thought the book was just okay. There were parts of the writing I thought were cute and other parts where it felt tedious, because there were parts I enjoyed and felt like it's a 2.5 star book for me. I also found myself really turned off by the racist terminology used around Tiger Lily's tribe. Yep, I mentioned that in the beginning of this video, the name of the tribe, and also how the tribe isn't really referenced at all. I don't see the point of having Tiger Lily's tribe in the book if you're not going to reference them in any kind of way. I found that bizarre. I hope the editions more geared towards kids toned this down. I read it on my Kindle. I think there are abridged versions, so I don't know if in the abridged versions they might call it Tiger Lily's Tribe or change it. I actually have no idea, but I get all your points there. And then the last comment was from Graham Silla Reads Books. I love when Graham joins in with my book clubs. I felt like I was reading this for ages. Oh my god, mate. I felt like I was reading it for ages. For me, the jury is still out. There were parts that were so lovely and well written. Then there were parts that were just purely naff. 100%. Like, I tabbed some beautiful moments, and they were more at the beginning half of the book, and I was thinking, oh my god, it's so like beautiful, but then it just got naffed, didn't it? And it got very basic language. It was very odd, the whole thing. The character of Peter was comma, in my opinion, comma, somewhat unlikable, as were quite a lot of the others too. The sexist undertones also really irked me. Peter stealing Wendy away under the presence of telling her the story of Cinderella so that she could mother him and his lost boys, cook, clean and sew their ripped socks and trousers, then having the audacity to do, do the same years later to her daughter, then her daughter's daughter, and so on. That was really creepy, wasn't it? And I understand, like, again, like 1911 it was published and everything like that, but I did find that very creepy as well. And also how he manipulated her, because at the beginning how he gets the children to fly to Neverland with him is he's just crying on the floor. So they're all in their beds and they're like, oh, Peter's like having a breakdown in our nursery. Peter, are you okay? And he's like, I'm just... And he like manipulates her to go there, and then she becomes the mother and she doesn't know that's going to happen, because when she gets there she doesn't know that she's going to be the only girl there, and then she's the mother. And yeah, it was all just really like manipulative and weird, that whole situation. I 100% agree. This book was so much a product of the era it was written and published in. I am glad I finally read this children's classic. Did I like it? I'm not sure. Will I ever read it again? Probably not, if I'm being honest. 100% great point that this book is a product of the era it was written. I fully agree, but I'm not saying that because it was written at that time like those things, it's fine to call Tiger Lily's Tribe that, and it's fine to treat women like that. Obviously not. We've evolved into a better time, but it's definitely the product of the era. I would never read it again, and I think you're the same as me. You wouldn't read it again. I don't see any point. I wouldn't recommend it for someone to read. I didn't see the point of it being written. This is the end of the review. I'm going to end it because I could just rant on and on. This book took me quite a long time to read and it is short, but because it slogs on so much, I feel like I've wasted so much of my month on this. And it wasn't till I kind of sat down and thought, after I'd finished reading it, and I sat down and I thought, I actually didn't enjoy that at all. There were moments of like essence of being really good, but then they were just completely drowned out by the tediousness of the plot. I'm going to end the video here before I rant on with my life. Feel free to subscribe, comment down below if you have read Peter Pan, tell me if you're joining in with Jane Eyre, and that is it. Thank you for watching, thank you for everyone who did read, thank you for those 3 people, we're a strong team who powered through. Thank you, and I will see you very soon for another video.